Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dustin from the future, just coming in and saying to make sure if you're going to skip one of the ads, to skip this first one, I believe it is. I guess it just depends on which one it comes up. But one of the ads are going to be the normal one that you hear over and over about Anchor, which is really good site and app, so you should use it. But I know you skip ads like I skip ads when I listen to podcasts. So if you do skip one, make sure you skip that one and listen to the other one because it is for a good cause. So yeah, if you're gonna skip one, you know which one to do.
Hello and welcome. This is the sixth episode of the Unlucky Podcast. And today I don't really have many plans for what I'm going to say. Usually, when I record one of these, I kind of have a main topic in mind, and then I kind of just go from there. But I'm recording this one early so that I can post a little bit after Christmas. And yeah, I don't really have much planned, so I'm just going to talk to you for 20 to 30 minutes about whatever comes to mind and whatever's on the internet. But before I get to that, since I am posting this after the holidays, I just want to say I hope you had a good one, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you and your loved ones are celebrating right now. I hope it was good, and I hope you was able to spread the joy that this holiday is really about, because even though the holidays may be different, they all have the same underlying factor. Just even if it's just for this time of year, be the best version of yourself. Even if that means just being nicer to the person at the register when you're checking out. And speaking as somebody that's worked in customer service for years, that really does matter. If you come and you have a smile on your face and you're actually nice to the people, then that will make them want to do their job better for you. Because if you just walk up and you're like, ugh, I want my stuff and I want it now, it's your job to give it to me. Well, while it is their job to give it to you, it's not their job to give it to you great. You know, I'm always worried about sending food back at places like actual restaurants because as soon as it goes back into that kitchen, it's just going to. There's no telling what could happen to it. I mean, have you seen that movie? What's it called? Hold on, I'm gonna have to look it up. Waiting, that's what it's called. If you've seen that movie, then you know anytime you send food back, especially if you're a bitch about it, then your food's gonna get fucked up. I mean, they put dandruff, spit, pube hair, snot, anything that you could think of putting on this lady's food. They put it on her food and sat there and watched her eat it smiling because she thought she got one over on these people by yelling at them and making their day worse. But I digress. Just go and be happy, because as long as you're happy, you're going to project that happiness onto other people. And really, that should be an all your thing. But nobody can be happy 100% of the time. And yeah, now that I'm done with that little tangent, we can get on with the show. Alright, so now this is the second time I've recorded this whole episode because I wasn't smart enough to turn my phone down, and it just sat there and rang and rang and rang. And I know you guys don't want to hear that because I didn't want to hear it while it was ringing. And you say, well, why didn't you turn it off? Or why didn't you put it on silent? And well, that's really good advice there, Captain Hindsight. Maybe next time I'll look into it. But for now, I'm just recording it all again. So I can't even remember what the fuck I talked about. Um, First it was the whole Trump impeachment thing. And now I know every one of you out there listening to this now has your opinion either for or against Trump. And really, I don't care about your opinion because it doesn't matter that much. Because one person making a decision isn't affecting everybody. And you could say, oh, well, it's affecting some people right now that are in those camps, but then that wasn't just one person's decision, was it? He made it and it was on his go ahead, but other people had to agree with that, right? It wasn't just him saying, oh, I'm going to build these torture camps where people are sleeping on the ground with thousands or however many other people it is in these little bitty rooms that are starving and just everything that you're not supposed to be done or be doing to people, they are doing. And I'm not, that's all I'm going to say about that stuff because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the whole process of him being impeached. And my stance is if it was going to happen, it's a little bit too late, right? So he's at the end of his term, and I really don't think that he was going to win again, anyways. And, you know, he might have. Everybody said he wasn't going to win in the first place, and he did. But I'm not sure. Maybe him being impeached will make it to where he can't run again, but I don't know if that's right because my knowledge on our government system is very low because I don't really care about the politics of stuff, as I've said before. I just I think it's funny that everybody is making such a big deal about this when literally 2020 we're having another election. And it's like you go into your job and you go in there every day for 4 years, right? And you're at the like last 2 weeks. You put in your 2 weeks notice and you're about to walk out the door. You know, you've done everything right. You just gotta fucking punch your clock until you're done. But then you come in at the first day of your 2 week notice and they're like, hey, you're fired. But you're not really fired yet because we have to go and we have to get a couple hundred people together and all talk about it and we all have to decide that you're going to be fired. But if we can't make a decision that's overwhelmingly one side or the other, we have to vote again and again and again. And by the time they make that decision, he will be done. He won't be the president anymore. And if they're doing it so that he can be remembered as the third president to be impeached, I think there's other shit that he's going to be remembered for having done and having fucked up. And the one thing that seemingly has improved with him as president is jobs. We've gotten jobs and there's been more of them. And you can throw numbers or whatever you want, but for me, where I'm sitting, with having done absolutely no research, that seems to be the one thing that he said was going to happen that happened. How it happened or whatever, irrelevant to me. But yeah, that's all I'm going to be talking about on Trump, just because it is so controversial. And I really don't want a bunch of people messaging me and stuff. And because even though I say go to my unlucky profiles, a lot of you are messaging me directly. And while I still appreciate the feedback, I would like it more if you went and gave me the feedback on those sites because that's what they're there for me and you to communicate. And, you know, if you're somebody that I talk to on a daily basis, you don't have to do that shit. But I'm not saying don't give me your feedback at all. I'm just saying if you want to give me feedback, please go do it on those sites. And I'm not going to plug them because I said I wasn't going to. But yeah, just go over there and do it, please, so that other people can see it. And it helps get the word out because that's all I'm trying to do is get the word out so more people can hear my stupid ass opinions, right? Okay, next thing will be the Nick Cannon and Eminem beef. Now, I know I talked about it a little bit before, but it's gotten it's developed some more, I guess we could say. So, if you don't know about it, I'll go over it a little bit. I'm going to kind of glance over the first bit because I have already talked about it. And if you already know what's going on, then I guess you can listen to hear my opinion about it, or you don't have to listen to this part, I guess. They have a skip button on there. You can skip forward a little bit. I won't be upset, even though I can see it. I'll know that you skipped. And look, see, there goes my phone again. But I'm not even going to take this part out just because I'm so fucking frustrated with it. I'm just going to leave it in. And it wasn't even anything important. It was a freaking Reddit giving me a notification. Like, you couldn't have done that quietly. Just popped up on my phone and said, hey, there's some stuff on here you might want to see. Even though if I wanted to see it, I would click on the app and I would look for it. But, whatever. Eminem beef. Okay, so Nick Cannon and Eminem, they had a beef in 2002 or some shit like that. But Eminem dated Mariah Carey. They broke up. Mariah Carey married Nick Cannon. Eminem, being crazy, made the Warning Shot, a song about them. And yeah, 10 years later, Nick Cannon went on a TI podcast and was saying, oh, he did this, but he don't really want to fight because I'd fuck him up. Da 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 da. Then Eminem comes out as a feature on a song with Fat Joe and brings up Nick Cannon again. So Nick Cannon comes out with two trash ass songs with each of his Wild and Out squad and just become the laughing stock of the internet for the last week. And I don't know if I said this already, but I am recording this on the 19th. So when you're listening to this now, like on the 28th or whenever I decide to post it, just know if other stuff has came, don't message me and tell me, hey, this has happened and you didn't talk about it. Because obviously, if it had happened by now, I would have talked about it, right? Okay. So now the Wild and Out crew made a song more or less just begging him to come be on their show because they need the money apparently so bad that they're going to beg somebody that they don't like and that he doesn't like them to come be on their show and just make them look like fools on their own show. But then Nick Cannon says that Eminem's chauffeur has a video of him blowing his chauffeur or something and calls him the same thing everybody has called every white rapper since white rappers existed. They called him white, and now that he's not 20 years old anymore, they called him old. So now not only is he white, but he's white and old. And yeah, it was just a really, really funny diss. Not because of what they said about him, but because it was so bad. Like, he had 12 people on one song. Not actually, but it might as well been. And they would say, like, two lines, and they was all better than Nick Cannon's. But then Eminem goes on Twitter and says that he better apologize because his gardener's jealous. And then Nick Cannon after Eminem hadn't responded for a couple days, Nick Cannon said, "Ooh, I won." And because that's what rap is now, it's Twitter beefs. It's people putting out songs and then going on Twitter and saying, "Hey, I don't like you." Well, guess what? I don't like you either. That's what it is, just back and forth. So then, Obi Trice, if you don't know who that is, that's somebody that was in D12 with Eminem, but he came out with two like minute songs from jail, also both better than both of the Wild and Out Crew songs, but came out with those two songs at Nick and kind of just got glossed over by them apparently. I guess they didn't want to be like, "Oh, this guy dissed me, but we're going to ignore him just like Eminem is ignoring us." Then Joyner Lucas went on Twitter and more or less said he was going to get together the Super Friends, saying that he was going to get J. Cole, Logic, himself, and a bunch of other people all on a song just to come at Nick Cannon. Because I bet there were some conversations between the Wild and Out crew. Like Nick Cannon was like, "Hey man, I need you to do this song with me about Eminem," and they was like, "Are you sure? Like for real?" Maybe that's why some of their spots were so little, because they didn't really think it was a good idea. So they just wanted to come in and say something real quick and then like hide their face and get out. But whatever. So yeah, Eminem still hasn't responded as of right now. And if he does, I might talk about it more. It's going to be a good song, but we'll see if it's good enough to actually talk about. Okay, funniest thing just happened. I looked down at my phone and I had a notification, and apparently Nick Cannon has dropped another song dissing Eminem, and I've yet to listen to it, so I'm going to listen to it now, and then I guess we'll talk about it for a little bit and then move on, because I wasn't really expecting another one, because who drops 3 diss songs about somebody that they haven't even responded to yet? It's like he's sitting there talking to a wall, like I'm doing right now, except he's actually expecting someone to respond. He's sitting there talking to somebody and them just not replying. Like, that's just rude by Eminem, right? Like, if somebody walks up to you and says, "Hey, how are you doing?" You're not gonna just sit there and stare at him like, "Who the fuck are you?" So maybe he's just waiting for Eminem to be polite. But yeah, I'm gonna go listen to that now. Okay, so I just finished it, and the first 2 minutes of a 4 minute song was him sitting there in his little studio room chair listening to Eminem songs dissing him and Mariah Carey. Sitting there holding his head like, "I can't believe he said this shit. I can't believe this white boy said this shit." And then for the next 2 minutes, he talks about how Eminem is racist. Okay, so Eminem, the guy who's been around and most of his friends are black, that guy is racist against black people. And Nick Cannon even put in his song the supposedly quoted things from Eminem saying black bitches are dumb, and no, he said black girls are bitches, black girls are dumb, and then had it quoted from Eminem. Like Eminem would say that, and maybe he did, but if he actually thinks Eminem is the racist one, after he put out literally 2 songs before this, within a week, within a couple days, within maybe a day of each other, talking shit about him being white and rapping, that just makes no sense to me. But I'm not gonna keep talking about it, because that song wasn't even really worth talking about. So if you want to listen to it, you can. You're not really gonna gain anything from listening to it, But yeah, it's obviously out there to listen to, so go right ahead if you feel like it. And now I just want to talk about something that really just pisses me off. And I'm sure it pisses off you too, because why wouldn't it? It's taking your money away. I hate taxes with so much passion. It should have been in the episode with Ryan where I talk about the shit I hate, but it didn't come to my mind until I looked at my paycheck, and over half of my check had gone to taxes. And right now I live in Indiana, and in Indiana, not only do they take out federal taxes, but they take out state taxes. So if you make, let's say you make $700 before taxes, right? Then at least like 200 to 300 of that is gone automatically because they have to take taxes to pay all of these city people and to quote unquote fix the state and the county. But the main thing that everybody uses in the state and the county is the roads, right? So why is it in all of my traveling across the country that I've done, all of the roads are complete shit? Like, take a small amount of what we pay in taxes, which is a shit ton, and fix the roads. It cannot be that hard to fix roads. And I saw this video, it was of a construction site in England, I think it was, putting up a bridge, and then it was beside of an American company putting up a bridge in America. And maybe that there's more hoops and stuff to jump through in America. I don't know. But watching the time lapse, the England company or whatever had finished the construction like maybe a year before the American company or whatever did. So I'm just saying, if we're paying so much, then why isn't it reflecting into what we're seeing done? Because I don't mind paying taxes as long as it's visible as to what we're paying. Like, I saw somebody somewhere talking about being able, no, it was a song, that's what it was. It was a song by J. Cole saying, like, why can't we just have our taxes but then decide what we want that money to go to that we're putting in? Like, that would be such a good idea. Say, okay, this amount of taxes is going to come out of my paycheck no matter what, but I want this percentage of it to go into the schools, and I want this percentage of it to go to the police. And everything would still be getting paid because guess what? People have family that works those city jobs, and I'm sure most of them have jobs too. Who do you think they're going to give their money to? Do you think they're going to give it to the roads, to the road construction crews that they don't know anybody that works on? Or do you think they're going to give it to the court system when their uncle or dad or whatever is a judge? Me, using my common sense, I would say they would give it to the court system. But, maybe I'm wrong and they're like me and they really, really want nice roads, because I don't think that's too much to ask for, to have a nice ride to go on and not having to worry about hitting a pothole the size of my tire and just losing the whole damn thing. That would really be nice. Just to know exactly where our money is going instead of just saying we have to give this money up to the government and then they get to do with it what they want. Because I'm not complaining about having to pay the taxes in general. Like I said, I don't mind paying the taxes. It's just seeing that money just disappear. They're saying, oh, you made this much, but we're taking this much, and you don't get to know what we're doing with it. That just makes no sense to me. But that's about all I've got. Oh, before I wrap this up though, I just saw something earlier today on the BBC News website saying that the U.S. government lists Wakanda as a trade partner. And if you don't know what Wakanda is, it's from the movie Black Panther, where the Black Panther is from. It's a fictional place that obviously doesn't exist. That's what fictional means. And it was put into the department's online. I'm reading it from them now. The department's online tariff tracker hosted a detailed list of goods the two nations apparently traded, including ducks, donkeys, and cows for dairy. So we are apparently getting ducks, donkeys, and cows from a country that doesn't exist. It was taken off the list pretty fast, I would assume. But with it being the 21st century, nothing's fast enough. As soon as something's out there, it's out there, and everyone can see that somebody fucked up and probably got fired and put Wakanda down. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe they just seriously was like, this movie was so realistic and just authentic that I can't believe that Wakanda is a fake place. Or I don't know. I don't know what their train of thought was, but let's make Wakanda a real place, I guess, and we'll trade them ducks and cows and whatever the fuck else they said they had, and we'll make money from that. And maybe they won't be able to tax that shit. We'll do like Peter did in Family Guy, and just make. We will do like Peter did in Family Guy, and we'll just make a little like. Just we can make a town, go a little bit bigger than Family Guy. Just get a whole town, and just call it Wakanda, and then we'll just get a bunch of fucking animals and let them out of the town, and then consider that trading, and then make them pay us. I think that'll work good. But that's really all I've got for today. I hope you liked this episode. If you did, tell other people to listen to it, because that's, why I do this, for people to hear it and to talk to me, hear me, tell me what they want me to talk about. So make sure you do that. Yeah. Best of luck.